This is a piece of stainless 10mm rod, and we need to put a 3/8 thread on the end. So we need to machine a bit down. All out. A very nice finish. Finish on that is absolutely beautiful. That's why I've not sped it up, because it's machining really nice. Okay, so that's saying 4 thou to come off. Look at that, that is beautiful. It's a shame to put a thread on it. I think we'll call that close enough. Less than half a thou. So that's now 3750 or 0.3750, which is 3/8. So it's actually not a lot taken off the grand scheme of things. We'll just tidy this outside edge here with this tool. Hopefully I can get in. Right, so we'll put a thread on that now. I really do think that I should joggle my memory and relearn thread cutting on a lathe, because it'd make this 10 times easier. Now this here is an empty tool holder, and in this box is a thread insert tool holder. This machine will do a 26 TPI thread, so it seems only fitting to have a go and seeing if I can remember how to thread cut on a lathe, because that has been a long time. Okay, so having just checked in the end panel, it is the only one of these, apart from that one there, that has a 60, but the back gear is 127 and the front gear is a 120, and it's a 60 at the bottom and it's on the 127 gear, so the top one must be a 30, so it must be this combination. We want 26 TPI. So up here we are in lever B, which is correct. This one down here, so 26 needs to be 7, and then this one needs to be C. It never wants to go into gear. Come on. There we are, I have to spin the chuck a bit. Right, so that should be 26 TPI, which is what we need. And the inserts that I'm using are from my favourite place, APT, Associated Production Tools. I've got myself some 55° and some 60°. These are partial thread cutting, so you can use these on a multiple of TPIs. So these are going to be perfect for what we're doing. So we're all set up. We have the insert in. I've got this turned down to slightly under the diameter, because obviously when you do a thread it kind of does push out a bit. And I have my dial test indicator over here, because we're going to use the dial test indicator to make sure that we go in the right amount. So first thing I'm going to do is I am going to put some marker pen on here so I can put a witness mark down. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to just touch off until we just see a slight mark. There we are. And then we can set this. So we'll go to about half a thou. Wait for my number to come round on the dial on the side. Come back out. Turn it off. That's not looking too bad. Hopefully you can see that on the camera. We now have a witness mark which we can check with our gauge. And that looks like 26 TPI to me, which is great. So now it's a case of just keep doing that lots and lots of times. Moving in at, I don't know, about half a thou at a time until we get to 24.5. Now you will notice at the chuck end there I have put a relief, and that is, I've gone in 30 thou there, so once the thread's cut we should have plenty of room for the tool to go into. So I'm literally just stopping when I get to the groove or the relief area, moving back so it's clear, moving past the end, and then putting on a little bit on the indicator, waiting for my number to come round on the dial and engaging the lever. And eventually you get something that looks really quite nice. Our valve rod, or valve buckle should I say, screws on to our valve rod. And I'd say that's acceptable. There's no movement this way, which is what we don't want, which is perfect. So I don't think I've done too bad, considering I've not done it for 20 odd years. The biggest problem with doing this is waiting for the dial that you engage the feed is waiting for the number to come round. That's the biggest problem with this. We've now got our nice thread, and obviously you've seen that it goes on the thread that way, but it actually goes this way around and goes in like so. Now on the actual drawing, it's threaded all the way through, but we've only done the thread on one side because on this side we might actually be putting a grub screw. So with that like that, the valve itself, with the buckle, goes on like so, and then that pushes the valve backwards and forwards inside the cylinder, which is fantastic. All I've got to do now is machine it down to length and put a thread on the other end. But the thread on the other end, I'm not going to make as complicated as that. I think I'm going to put a metric thread on this end, which means I've got to change the gears in the machine because the machine is set up for imperial threads, not metric. Oh well. Right, so I've got the rod and I have put some pen on the end and I've actually marked it. You probably won't be able to see it. I've actually marked it to length. It looks like a 32nd needs to come off this one. So we'll get this in the lathe and put an M10 thread on that end. Once I've machined it down, obviously. So threading this is going to be a bit different to the other end because this is a imperial thread cutting lathe. So it's got an imperial lead screw on. So you've got to sort of do it slightly different with the metric, but it can do it. We want 3/8 on the end. Ish. Somewhere there. So what we've got in here is a fully formed insert, which has probably seen better days. As you can see, a bit missing there, and this one here is missing a bit, but this one's okay. And this is for an M10, so 1.5mm pitch. So the difference is we've got to keep the feed constantly in. We can't take it out. So we're going to have to power feed across, turn the machine off, pull out, reverse, go in. You'll see, you'll see. Then we have to reverse. Put a couple of thou on. And a little check. There we are, 1.5. Sits in them perfectly. Right, we'll get it done. there we go. That's that done. Goes on and comes off. That will do it, and we'll clean the end of this rod up. So for this I'm just going to use a bit of Scotch-Brite. So here at the cylinder with the cover off, our valve sits in here, slides backwards and forwards. Then we slide our buckle over the top with the thread at that end. That slides very nicely. And then with our rod that we've just done, it carefully slides through this gland here. Through our buckle. I think we might need a bit of oil. Alright, so I'm just going to put a little bit of oil in the hole. So it pumps up. Oh, a bit much. Never mind. And I'll slide that in. And thread her on. Now, when this steam engine's in operation, all in here will get coated with oil from the lubricator, because it all needs lubrication. So you have a bit of steam oil that's going to come in through the pipe into the chest. It'll coat everything in here with oil, and it'll coat the cylinders, the cylinder bore with oil. So it's not metal on metal. Right, there we are. And then this then goes backwards to the valve gear, and as the valve gear moves, it slides this backwards and forwards just like so. And it moves. It does move quite nicely. Now it needs a bracket here, which the slide bar attaches to, and this runs through the bracket and has another gland here to keep this moving nice and smooth, which it does. So at this end here, many years ago, and I can't actually think what episode it was in, I actually made some of the valve gear parts, and the piece that goes on here I've already made, and it's here, but I don't like it anymore. I think it's a bit square, so this actually attaches onto the end of this rod like so, and then the rod from the valve gear that comes from the back comes over and is connected here, because the rod that goes that way moves up and down and in and out at the same time, which you will see that if we ever get this in steam. So this goes through, like I said, a bracket that comes off here, so it'll go through this gland here, and believe it or not, it doesn't actually move as much as you think. But yes, I don't like that. I think it's a bit square here on the end. So I think what we're going to have to do is